Good afternoon, everyone. This is probably about a full week since the cherub has actually started looking a lot better than it did. He might come out. I've seen him pop out of that little hole in the rock right about there. That's where he kind of hangs out. And he's still alive, so the only fish left in the aquarium, like I said before, Velvet is a terrible, terrible killer. We have decided that we're going to move forward with coral purchases and just kind of go along with that. Fill the tank up with as much coral as possible, and then when we eventually move into a bigger aquarium, that's when we'll catch the little beast and transfer him to a quarantine tank. I'm sure that he's running an immune system now that will be fine for Velvet. Unfortunately, any new fish in the aquarium will not. So we don't want to run that risk. We'll need the aquarium to go completely fallow. Anyone watching this video who is unfamiliar with Velvet or ick types of diseases, please do your research on the dangers of Velvet and what you need to do to combat it. You're looking at about a 3-month fallow period, because once the life cycle drops off of the fish, it becomes free swimming. If there's no living host to attach to, it'll drop down onto the rocks or the sand or whatnot and live for about 18 to 30 some hours. At that point in time frame, if they have not found a suitable host, they will then go into a dormant state. They will produce a cyst over top of themselves and stay that way until a suitable host shows up. I believe it's like a pheromone is released into the system when a host is present, and that's when they'll release their, basically almost like a mushroom releasing its spores. So the life cycle for that to fully die off is about 3 months. Someone said it's in the range of 76 days. I think that 3 months would be more than enough time frame to combat this and move forward. But we have a fish. Somewhere in the aquarium is a gold coral bandit shrimp, although good luck finding it. It's not old enough for the antenna to stick out all over the place, but I know he's still in there. And then we just are moving forward with corals. We'll showcase a few of the corals setups that we're doing here. We've got some Recordia yumas, some other corallimorphs, Rhodactis, different kinds of Rhodactis species. I for a bumpy version of a discoma here. I've put some of my codium from the sump here and some of my bladed gracilaria up there. Apparently I'm also growing Aptasia in the aquarium. I've tried killing these things with Aptasia X. That just pisses them off, makes them shrink down, and then they come back with a vengeance. I'm going to try some Joe's juice next time, or I'm going old school, because I've been in the hobby since about 25 years, and mix up some kalkwasser paste, because I know that works, and paint those, for lack of a better term, sons of bitches with it, because I have Aptasia that size. And that's a disc about bigger than my thumb, so we know that that's a pain in the ass. But we've got some zoanthids, some pallies. I've got my scenerina in the back, the Trachophilia. It's hard to see. He takes up that area back there. Bunch more zoos and pallies, all kinds. I'm kind of letting this grow out. That Arctic blue back there, he's growing onto the frag rack, which is what I want. I want him to grow onto the frag rack so that I can continue growing those out. I've got some clove polyps, or I shouldn't say clove, pipe organs. I got some pipe organs. I think the Aptasia is trying to kill the pipe organs, so I need to try and break that colony out and move that. I've got an assortment of Asterina stars. My big, giant Rhodactis Mushroom is a little pissed off right now, not for any lack of anything. He is splitting. Now that thing has a disc size normally of it's like 4 to 5 inches. And the other day he started looking really bad. Well, he's pinching himself off and he's going to split out. So I'm going to have, this whole rock is going to be covered with these big ones. We're in the suburb of Omaha, Nebraska, so if anyone watching this video who is familiar with rivers and reefs, up on 108th and Maple, they have one of the rocks in the not for sale section that's these giant Rhodactis mushrooms. That would be this one. So that's what the hope is, and eventually cover that rock. I've got this radioactive green looking Rhodactis, we believe is one of the OG giant Rhodactis from back in the early 2000s. One of the ones that gets just as big as this other radioactive, but he's got a little bit different structure. And then I've got some of the old school blue-purple mushrooms in here. They were a little hard to find. Rivers and Reefs, again, I managed to find a bunch of stuff from them. That's where the Superman mushrooms come from. I don't know if I can zoom in very well. You can see the blue. Yeah, it doesn't like to focus very well. I wasn't going to go soft corals. I got some Kenya tree going on. With the eventual addition of more angels, I think soft corals would probably be a better idea so that the angels don't eat things like the LPS. They haven't tried the track or the scenerina, but you know, time will only tell for things. Got some very cool orange Rhodactis. If you zoom in on that, like I said, it doesn't want to focus very well. And then I was messing around with the tank today. I found this interesting little guy. Let's see if we can get the camera to zoom in on him. Maybe. It really doesn't want to focus on that. Let's see if we can. I'll try and take a picture of it and add it to my Reefs to Reefs thread. If you want to follow along on the Reef to Reef thread, if you see this video on YouTube, this is multiple dwarf angels in a reef tank, I believe is my thread name. Yeah, this guy right here, see if we can zoom in but kind of go out so he's in focus. There we go. I don't know if that's a green Majano anemone or if that's like the beginnings of a tiny bubble tip. Which we don't know where that came from, because I certainly haven't bought any bubble tip anemones. So, could just be some crazy hitchhiker that shows up, which is fine. I like bubble tip anemones. But that's kind of where we're at. The cherub is back there. You can't really see him. You see a flash of orange just now. He didn't really want to come out. See, there he is. That's his hole he hides in. Comes out for food, thinks I'm going to feed him. So, I'll go ahead and sign off for now, but I figured I'd rather do a video update than try and type out a long span of everything. So, thanks guys.